When I was a child, I was obsessed with teen idols on TV. The entertainment world that I saw seemed like a heavenly place to me. So, when I turned 12 years old, I tried to audition to become a professional singer, and I was selected out of 70,000 applicants. It was a miracle. Later, I made my debut as a professional singer when I was 17, and I sang the famous commercial song and also the theme song of the anime Cutie Honey in front of thousands of people. My singing career was going well, however. Around the time I turned 20, I changed the directions and go to university. I had been in the entertainment industry since I was 12 years old, so I feared that I would grow up without the basic knowledge that everyone needs to survive in today's world. Somehow, I managed to get into the university I wanted to go to, but despite my plans, I did not study hard. I majored in literature, but I was not interested in studying at all. I was hanging out with friends and my boyfriends all the time. Nevertheless, I also went to graduate school without purpose because I still just wanted to enjoy student life. After graduating from university and graduate school, I worked as an office worker in Tokyo. At the same time, I resumed my music career. I was really enjoying my life in Tokyo. Gradually, however, I began to worry again. As I looked back on my life, I realized that I've been very lazy because I had chosen to do only what was enjoyable to me. Then, I was fascinated by a documentary about the legal team in the Nabari wine poisoning case. It was about several Japanese lawyers trying to save a death row inmate who insisted he was innocent. I was moved by their willingness to dedicate their lives to help others. And also I learned that the bar is the most difficult exam in Japan. So, in a sense of putting myself to the test, I decided to take the bar exam. Well, as I mentioned, I graduated from university but only had a literature degree, so I had to enroll in law school and start over as a student again. I was already 33 years old at the time. After enrolling in Nagoya University Law School, I had to study law from the very, very beginning. It was trial by fire. I studied for 15 or 16 hours a day, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't keep up with my classmates. Many of them were 10 years younger than me, and they all were highly qualified people who had completed their law studies during university. I was the underdog. I suffered from hives all year round and also severe depression. If someone just asked me, "Hey, how are you doing? Are you okay?" I would break down in tears because I was not okay. Moreover, there is a limit to the number of times you can take the bar exam. When I was taking the bar in 2013, we had only 3 chances to pass. And this limit put intense pressure on every examinee. For example, the number 1 student in my law school failed 3 times under pressure. I thought about giving up many times, but while studying the law, I learned there are many people who have no voice. And every time I learned about these kinds of people, I knew I wanted to fight for them. This was my calling, and this was my motivation. So on the day of the bar exam, I was scared to death. All the examinees looked much more prepared than me, and the more I looked around the people, the more I worried because I didn't want to miss my only 3 chances to take this exam. And this caused my mind to go completely blank. People sometimes ask me, how did you overcome your fear? Oh, this is a very difficult question. In fact, I don't know if I had overcome my fear, but if I had to choose, I kept saying to myself that I was not the only one. I imagined that everyone there was overwhelmed and devastated. But my knees were still shaking with fear. That's how it was. And so I finally passed my third try. Not long after I became a lawyer, I met a thief. He stole a car to get away from his employer, to run away. He stole a car to run away from his employer, who was running a pig farm. Of course, what he did was illegal. However, before this, he was constantly abused by his employer. He was only fed twice per day, and he was not paid for 12 years. Moreover, he was forced to live with the pigs. He was actually forced to eat and sleep with the pigs. People may think that anyone who commits a crime is a bad person. However, each situation has its own circumstances. I believe that it's a part of the job to break down the misconceptions against criminals and help them reintegrate into society. Although my client was found guilty, he didn't have to serve any time in prison. I felt sorry for what my client had been through, so I found a house and a job for him after his trial so that he could restart his life. Sometimes he writes me letters and says things like, "How are you? Thank you." Those two short sentences serve as a reward for all the hardship I put into becoming a lawyer. If I had not sacrificed so much, I would never have experienced the joy of helping that poor man from the pig farm. Even now, I still have fears. I'm constantly faced with difficult legal issues. I can't sleep at night when I think that I may not be able to help others, or I might make the wrong decision as a lawyer. And to be honest, sometimes I feel like running away. But I believe that through hardships, we can learn to understand the suffering of others. Whenever you try something new, you will most likely suffer. But that's what the challenge is. Suffering is proof that you're climbing to reach something bigger. 人生苦しい時が上り坂. So please, keep trying. The amazing view awaits you at the top. Thank you so much. ありがとうございました. Thank you.